Good morning, it's Harvey Jackson. I'm just going to highlight a little bit of information on the crop tour. And what I'm going to start off with is the Canola Crop SnD. I haven't updated my own, and just looking at other people's analysis as well. But we'll just get into it here. So this is done by Left Field, and they are projecting and moved up yield to 42 bushels to the acre. I am not quite in that camp. I don't think we've got production in 20 million. I'm is it what does USDA going to say, or is it what actually comes about? Because we don't find out that number for a long time, and I don't think there's hardly any fields getting harvested as of right now for canola. Now, yeah, once you get into them, we'll probably get a better idea, and it could be as soon as this week. I've seen some swaths down last weekend on my trip into Winnipeg. Some canola is definitely maturing, but we'll have to see. So the other interesting thing, and I think this is probably a fact as well, they have crush not a whole lot higher than last year, even though you're adding another 2+ million metric ton capacity, and expecting exports to fall, the 3 million plus. That is probably a pretty well-known fact that's very likely to happen, right? So because we've lost the Chinese market as of right now, and I don't expect it to come back online anytime soon. So you can see here, this is where he's got the projected yield and production back to close to 20 million. And it's very possible, even though I would say where the highest production is in the north, traditionally, what I call the Yellowhead Corridor, Manitoba, and following the Yellowhead Highway, maybe 100 miles and then all the way up to the north is traditionally the higher yielding areas. And there's three pockets. There's little drought areas and very low soil moisture during the growing season in Manitoba, and then you get over to the Battleford, to Lloydminster, Edmonton area, and the Peace River. So I am not in the camp of the yields going that much higher, even though I've seen some fantastic looking crops where the moisture did hit just in time. But we'll have to see how that all plays out. They also had just a board crush versus cash index. This doesn't even take into account the discount that they might have to take for the meal price, the canola meal price that's been showing up. It's been fairly heavily discounted in price. So it's just FYI there as well. Crop tour, seeing stellar Illinois soybean prospects. Corn yield down from 2024. You hear this 24 egg here is just talking about the tour. I think Karen Braun maybe highlighted it a little bit better, just the differences from the USDA numbers and the expected yields as well. Palm oil closing lower, tracking soybean prices. That's not a surprise. But what I'm looking for is if this is going to happen now, this cooler and drier in this area as well. And I look at this map and I want this to actually happen. Now, do we want hot and dry? I'm going to say, why not? That way we can actually progress on some harvest. It's maybe going to challenge some of this moisture that's been going across here. There's some pretty heavy thunderstorms that hit in the prairies. Really no other area, but there is that Aaron that you can see in this map, just rolling on the, not making land, but it definitely rolling over. So this is just highlighting the differences in the temperature. Now, temperature might be critical for some of this growing season for the corn and soybeans. And you can see here the 0 to 5 day, you got a cooling effect in those areas. The 5 to 10 stays cooling, but we got this heating up in the prairies. And I would like to see it stay for a little bit longer. This is actually giving us a map going all the way up to September 5th. And I know we're not going to be by any means close to finished harvest there. This is the Yellowhead Corridor that I'm talking about, actually including, and we've gotten rain, but it's not in time. And my concern is, especially on the cereals and some of these other crops, is that this rain did come in the last 14 days, that we could actually be having some quality issues. And I would say, I had a conversation with a couple of people about barley yesterday, and I think there's all kinds of, if the barley is mature, there's all kinds of chitting going on there as well. So anyway, so let's just have a look at the markets. Canola is up a little wee bit, rapeseed is down, soy oil is up, and the wheats are all up, which is a good sign. So you see this here, this 200-day moving average and this 38.2 retracement value seems to be what's giving support to canola at this time. But you can see that you do build in levels before you drop down. So, but this is maybe more of a downward sloping look on the chart. But I still expect some downside. Even with a 40 bushel crop, the pressure just from the harvest coming in is likely to push this down. And again, I'll reiterate where I think 620, the 23.6 retracement value, 600 would be another value, and then we would get all the way down to the 580. And this would be pausing where this market is actually going to catch its way down here. Here's your European rapeseed. It's still, we had some pretty good positive days, but now it's turned a little bit red. And what that's done is give us a $115 or $111 price differential of rapeseed to Canadian canola in Canadian dollars. Soybean oil futures is still on this slide down. Don't know where it's going to get caught. Hopefully the 61A can catch it here right around that 50 cents. But we still got a little bit of a gap yet to fill that got created back in June. And here we are with the soybeans. Does look like we're creating a pendant here, and this is a bull flag potentially, right? So it could be rallying, but I'm going to say bigger soybean crop and time of year, more likely this direction, just by seasonality. Soybean meal futures, nice little climb. Now it's consolidating here below the $300 mark. Crude oil still looks like a downward trajectory there too. The Canadian dollar had some fairly big losses this week, and some of that is our CPI numbers that came out and are very likely going to have to get another rate cut here, but how big will it be? US to the Brazilian real, a little bit of a recovery here, but it's allowing the North America market to actually have some dominance on their corn and even soybean sales. But it seems like it's not going to China anyway so far. Wheat, we've got a possibility of a recovery here. I am still not excited. I'm looking for maybe a couple more closes above this short-term moving average before I can get excited about that. Milling wheat, on the other hand, there's been talk of Egypt buying French wheat, which is priced off here, and it just looks like a falling knife here. It just keeps on falling. Same with your Kansas, but you got a little bit better signals. And when it comes to Chicago, we've got a couple of green days. We're above the short-term moving average. We're approaching the medium-term moving average. That has given me some hope that this market could actually have reversal in here. Corn. Still not looking all that favorable. Looking for a pop to maybe go short again, I think. Live cattle, and this is just a diminishing supply. It's crazy how this chart looks. It looks like gold, and the same thing with the feeder cattle. It just keeps on going up. That's all I have for you today.